gentlemen, my name is Totalbiscuit of the WoW podcast Blue Please on Cynical Didn't you go into space? Ah, I see. Clever girl. That's probably the best use of phasing technology ever from Blizzard. They can just stop making games now. They can't beat that. Welcome back to Azshara. It's been a while, hasn't it? Unfortunately, the secret lab is still on fire. We may have to revisit it in the not-too-distant future. And, of course, by not-too-distant future, I mean kind of now. We have a number of interesting quests to look at. I say interesting, that would be a lie. Most of them are fairly dull. But we will do them anyway. As has to be done in a leveling area. What I'm going to do, as we go through this, I'm going to try and point out how we can spice up some of these quests, give some feedback, give some suggestions, and point out things that are obvious and try and make lame jokes about them. I've never done that before, so it's going to be a very new experience for me. As you're well aware, everything that I've ever said in previous videos has been of the highest quality in terms of humour. So much so, in fact, that it went over the heads of 95% of my viewers. Now, you know that annoying static charged Hippogriff quest? Well, we've got to do that again. So, I tried to avoid it as much as possible, but as far as I'm aware, you can actually skip this entirely, because I don't think there's any follow-up to this. I tried hunting it in and there just wasn't anything, so if you want to ignore a particularly boring quest, then that might be a good suggestion. How would one spice this up? Well, it reminds me of a hero in League of Legends by the name of Kennen. Kennen has a mechanic whereby every lightning attack he applies to an enemy stacks a lightning charge on the opponent. When he reaches 3 lightning charges, the opponent is stunned. So it's quite nice. Well, I was thinking with these guys, we could stack lightning charges on the Goblin, and when you reach 3 charges, they explode, and you die. And then there's some cake, but mostly you die. That would make this so much more entertaining. Like, don't pull too many at once, because you will explode. It's a good Goblin mechanic. Don't judge me. I'm playing a race that has its very genetic history based on exploding. It's part of their culture. Part of their DNA, even, one would suggest. Sadly, the other somewhat dull quests here involve collecting Azurite, and they also involve killing Mistwing carcasses. As it turns out, we need to make a large snack for the stone guy. Why do we need to make a large snack for the stone guy? Because we need to discover the secret of Azurite, and apparently the stone guy knows it. How are we going to do it? We're going to give him a Mistwing burger. Some description. I've sped all of this up because there isn't all that much to see, quite frankly. Collect Azurite, the big blue crystals, kill Mistwings, get the carcasses for them, carry them around in your bag. And I've never really understood that. I think that's one of the most bizarre things about World of Warcraft. Like, well, I'm carrying around 8 giant mutilated carcasses of large wyvern. I'm also carrying around a bunch of massive rocks, not to mention everything else that's in my bags. It's impressive. I'll give him that. Okay, we are done here. Wonderful. We'll go find some hand-ins. Now, he's on the other side of this. Oh, no, not Subject 4 again. Absolutely not. I remember what he did to me last time. Dear God. But yeah, you don't have to do the Hippogriff quest if you don't want to, and I would not blame you for saying no. There is literally no point. Woo, some experience and some gold. What the hell's the point? It's not all that interesting. So, it seems to be optional. It doesn't seem to be linked to anything else as far as I can tell. This stuff, on the other hand, you really do need to do. So, here's some Azurite, as well as a handy ding for me at level 17. That's a talent point. There we go. We can now create a giant Mistwing burger of some description. You know, talk to the giant. He knows the secret of Azurite. Let's go find out what it's all about. And in the meantime, I'm going to take another point and improved Recuperate, which now has a new icon. Very important. You see it on the topmost hotbar. It's the first button there. And that will allow you to use energy to recover health over time, which makes rogues an exceptional soloing class. You may have seen some videos of a rogue going into Molten Core and soloing bosses. It can do that now thanks to Recuperate. Here you go. Have some delicious Mistwing. bear in mind, he's a stone giant, so he does like his food a little crunchy. Now, tell me your secrets, or I'll rip the secrets from your flesh. Oh, you don't have any flesh. Okay. That works, I suppose. Oh. Oh, God. Blizzard, please explain to me your obsession with crap. No, I don't mean bad. I mean literally crap. Droppings, dung, excrement, defecant, poop. Why? What is with the freaking poop quests, and why can we not escape them? Someone please tell me this. Oh, fantastic. So, we found out the secret of Azurite is actually its giant crap. Wonderful. And, of course, we're going to have to go and pick it up again. Oh, God, I need to wash my hands. Goblin Sand Sanitizer. Sand Sanitizer, that is great. That is a spoonerism of the century, in fact. Hand Sanitizer. I could have edited that out, but I just like the spoonerism. I think it's awesome. Goblin Hand Sanitizer. Made of hydrochloric acid and flames. Yes. Giant dung. So what do? Well, we do what every reasonable goblin would do, which is attempt to extract... Yes, extract... more Azurite from the giant. With what? Well, what do you think? A giant laxative. In the meantime, however, it seems the gnomes are encroaching on this territory, and that is unacceptable. We must scourge the heretic and purge the unclean from this hallowed land. How are we going to do that? We're going to go slay a bunch of gnomes on the coast of Azshara. In the meantime, there might be something else worth picking up over here. I say worth picking up, but this is kind of interesting, and I'll show you why later on, but this is a boring pickup quest. However, it leads to something that's kind of neat. Now, the Mortar guys are running short on supplies. They're asking me to go back to the secret lab and pick up some of the spare Goblin Mortar shells, which I can do. So, yes, we've got to do that, find the laxative, and also slaughter a bunch of gnomes. Interesting.
Time is money, friend.
Now, funnily enough, I realized here I don't actually have any flight points. You don't get any. The best thing you can do is that when you first go to Hellscream, you should probably go up the tower as well and grab the Ogrimmar flight point, and then you can use it to do that. As it stands, I'm just running around, which is a little time-consuming at best. Right, let's speed this up while we hoof it. The mysterious wonders of the regional dialect. Some people have suggested I do an entire video in a Geordie accent just to confuse you, like. So we're gonna go pick up these mortars, like? You daft cunt. I don't think so, somehow. I don't really have too much of a Geordie accent, but I do tend to slip into it when I'm speaking to Geordies in Newcastle. A bit of a regional twang happens there. And some people make comments about my accent and my pronunciation all the time, but the basic fact of the matter is I've lived in about 7 or 8 different places. I lived in America for 2 years, and I'm married to an American with an American son, so I do use some American pronunciations. It's a little hard not to when you hear them on a daily basis. Whatever the case, I'm sure you'll get over it. No, you won't. Right, Zappa Gnomes. All the way over the other side here. A lot of them are hidden down the ridge. They actually have a secret base. And we can't have that, so we must destroy the Zappa Gnomes. They befoul this place. Gnomes tend to befoul everything. They even befoul their own city. They're hopeless in that regard. Now, what you'll also notice is that they tend to hang around in groups. You get a netgun gnome and a zapper gnome. Now, they're not demonstrating their unique talents here, but they are actually quite tough little packs when they do what they're supposed to do, as opposed to stand around and squeak at you as you stab them, which is entertaining. However, it's not all that challenging. So, I was wondering, well, where are these guys? They're down there, and I looked over the ridge, and I saw, aha! Yes, indeed. Managed to pull a mistwing, but hey, there you go. Get rid of that. You'll notice they have a secret coastal outpost. This is, handily enough, also where the giant laxative is hidden. So, we should go down there. Goblin Jump Pack Squadron! Ho! I'm not entirely sure this was such a good idea, but I'm going to do it anyway. And there we go, that's what happens. You get net-gunned by one of them, then the other one runs out of range and hits you, and aggroes everything else within a 5-mile radius, then you die. Yeah. You've got to be a little bit careful there. But that's the goblin way to go into combat, ladies and gents. Let's try that again, shall we? Right, you wee bastards. Get out of here. Here we go. Ah, sap crowd control, yes. I probably should have sapped the net gun guy, but hey, whatever. It works. I don't play a rogue. I don't know what I'm doing. Whatever the case, it's done the job. That is a nasty-ass crit. Wow. I still haven't replaced these weapons yet, as you've noticed. There hasn't been anything better. If you want any better than that at the current stage of play, I think you either have to use an heirloom or go to the Ragefire Chasm or possibly even Wailing Caverns to get better one-handers. I am going to head in there sooner rather than later so I can get a few upgrades. I'll also do the same thing with my Worgen. Some of you may have noticed that the Deadmines has had some changes. The bosses have been altered. I intend to go in there with the Worgen level appropriate. Oh, yeah, get off! Bloody... Well, at least they run towards you so you can actually hit them as opposed to doing something smart. You see, they're so goddamn small, I can't even hit them. Little runts. Disgusting creatures, I tell you. Now, it seems they can't fire the net gun if you're within point-blank range of them. You saw he was trying there. It seems to be a castable spell with some kind of minimum range requirement. And that red effect that you notice there is Recuperate. I'm not running a particularly good one. Recuperate is affected by how many combo points you have when you use it, so you might want to hold it and charge it. I've got improved Recuperate, so mine heals a little bit more over a longer period of... Oh, good lord. Okay, so we've got 3, right. Well, that's not entirely impossible. Pop evasion right here. Try and angle it so that... They actually surround you. It's kind of weird. I don't know if that's deliberate, but it's like some of them try and get behind you to stop the dodge from happening. A little bit of blade flurry going on there, and we should be good, though. Run Recuperate in the background. That's regenerating a small amount of my health every couple of seconds. It should be enough to keep me going. And then finish them off. But yeah, rogues are a very strong soloing class at this point, as long as you get your Recuperate off at the right time. If you don't, you tend to get squished. Aha, yes, the boss. Not much of a boss, really. Well, it might be your house, but it certainly won't be in a minute. I will not allow you to deploy the explosive sheep. I'm sorry, that's just not going to happen. I've been playing a little bit too much Worms Reloaded lately, and I must say I'm rather disappointed with that game. It's nice enough in multiplayer, but the AI is going to make you want to rip your hair out and possibly eat it. It's horrendous. It can hit shots from all the way across the map with a massive amount of wind in the... It's silly. Yeah, I can't say that I can really recommend that game as a single player. Now, what does this say? Attention, Mrs. Gadget Spring. The industrial strength laxative agent you requested is enclosed. My condolences on the fate of Mr. Blymo Gadget Spring after his encounter with the Cliff Giant. I'm curious why you're opting for a laxative in an effort to recover him, as opposed to some kind of vomit-inducing agent. It seems to me you're doing Mr. Gadget Spring a disservice. Good luck with your endeavor. An intriguing look into gnomish domestic disputes. Ugh. Told you they were filthy animals. Okay, so we have the laxative. Excellent. And we need to go all the way back there. So why don't we just skip all of that nonsense? Now the question is, will he accept my delicious chocolatey treat? I'm thinking possibly not. The special chocolate rock. No, he will not. He's not especially happy with that. Okay, so, we're going to need a plan B. Question is, what's the plan B going to be? Well, a little more direct, let's put it that way, although thankfully not as direct as I was fearing. I was thinking there could be some disgraceful things inflicted on this giant here, but not so much. As far as I know, this is also an optional quest.
Have a good one.
There isn't a follow-up, but since it's down where the laxative is anyway, you might as well. Now, you remember I was mentioning earlier that that boring pickup quest became something a little bit interesting. Well, this is why. So you hand this in, and you get some artillery signals. Allows you to call down artillery strikes. And apparently later on, we're going to go and see the Naga, and we're going to bring down mortar fire on their heads. You don't have to use these. They're not quest items. They're entirely optional, but it's kind of neat anyway, isn't it? It reminds me of getting that sticky glue stuff back in Senjin Village. I remember people actually hung on to that for PvP purposes. And there you go, there's the Naga slaying quest that we will do later on. However, we're not having too much luck with the Azurite. So, what's plan B exactly? Do it for science. Yes, indeed. Well, science isn't going to work. Or maybe it will. So, of course, the logical thing to do, as opposed to saying, well, you know what, it would be awesome if... Well, we're going to just shrink the Goblin. We're going to go ride a rocket-powered rat around and try and literally scare the shite out of it. Poop quests, seriously. This is the evolution of the poop quest, ladies and gents. You are seeing it. What hath Blizzard wrought? I remember the original poop quest back in TBC. And now it's evolved to this. It's sad, really, that one quest designer was tasked with developing the next generation of poop quest. Dear Lord. I am a rocket-powered rat. Obviously. A booger 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 booger. It's not doing anything, is it? Ow! God damn it. Was that absolutely necessary? Okay, random explosion. Shouldn't be surprised. Well, it turns out plan B doesn't really work so well either, so we may have to wait for another day to acquire our valuable giant poop. Blizzard and their minds in the proverbial gutter, or should I say, cesspit. I must say I'm a tad disappointed with the Goblin's lack of tenacity here. A series of quests, perhaps 6 different plans in order to get the Azurite from the giant, would have not been so welcome, so thankfully that was blissfully short. My name's been Totalbiscuit, and I will see you next time.